Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In dictatorships, unfortunately, some weird things happen, such as a brother spying on his brother, a father reporting his own children to the authorities, a mother praying against her own children. All these unfortunately ruin the relationship in many families. Unfortunately, this scenario happened many times in the Middle East, happened many times in dictatorships in Muslim countries. So we want to know, how can a dictator control people's minds to such extent that a person can betray the closest person to him or to her? So let's take Adolf Hitler as an example. In 1933, Adolf Hitler became the ruler of Germany and remained in power until 1945, when he committed suicide after Germany's defeat in World War II, and indeed it was totally destroyed. Hitler committed many terrible crimes against the German people themselves. He made a Holocaust in which he killed millions of people in gas chambers. He killed millions of his own people and other nearby people. In the gas chambers, there were Jews, gypsies, disabled people, trade unionists, members of trade unions were also killed in gas chambers. Those were just from his own people, not to mention Russians and Belarusians and Poles. The strange thing about Hitler is that he committed these crimes with the support of many people. It means that millions of people in Germany were supportive of killing and crushing of millions of German people. The question here is, how could a dictator cause a rift between people like that? How could a dictator convince a brother to spy on his own brother? How could a dictator convince a father to report his children to a dictator? How could a tyrant convince a mother to pray against her own children for the demise of her children? By the way, those who do such things around the whole world are Hitler's disciples. So many of the dictators who are ruling in the Middle East or in Muslim countries or non-Muslim countries are just students of Hitler. How could a dictator convince his people to abandon their humanity like that, and even play songs and music out of gloating at their neighbors whose children died? On the day of the funeral, they are turning on the music. How could a tyrant cause a rift between people like that? The first thing is to greatly feed the feeling of nationalism inside everyone's mind, so their country becomes more important to them than anything in the world. Then, to convince them that the ruler is the country, the ruler is their homeland, therefore any danger to the ruler is a danger to their homeland. Then to convince them that any opposition to the ruler is a danger to their homeland. So any opposition to the ruler is a danger to the ruler himself, and therefore the opposition to the ruler becomes a danger to the country. Therefore any relationship is worthless compared to the relationship with our homeland, whether being friendship, marriage, siblings, fatherhood, motherhood, relationships, it doesn't matter. No relationship can be compared to the relationship of a nationalist to his homeland. As for the ruler, because he became equal to the country, so any relationship becomes worthless compared to the survival of the ruler himself. At this point, a person can turn his back on his friend and turn his back on his brother and on his son and on his mother and on his father just for the ruler's satisfaction. Here we can understand the evil plan of a dictator to make his safety the responsibility of millions of people, because millions of people believe that it is their responsibility to protect the country, and he becomes equal to the country itself, even if that was at the expense of millions of souls. So millions of people will accept the crushing and massacres of millions of other people. The second point is that this means that the tyrant, the means that the tyrant uses are mainly three means. Number one, media. Two, inciting fear and terror in the hearts of his subjects. So he rules by fear. So media, which makes him rule by fear. Three, he uses and exploits religion. For the media, in Surah Ghafir, when Pharaoh said, the Quran says, and Pharaoh said, let me kill Moses. He was not taking permission. No. But he was saying to his assistants, the chiefs around him, or his intimate friends and supporters, which is like his media people, to prepare the public opinion for him, so that they accept whatever that he is going to do, and accept the mass killing of his opponents. If you ask me, does the tyrant care about people's opinions? I would tell you yes, of course. He cares about people's opinions, because no oppressor practices injustice alone. Never. He cannot even do it. He must have the support of a military power, or the support of the army, or the support of the police. And he should also possess some public support, that support of people who believe in him and believe in everything he does. So media is a means, a very important means. The second means is to incite fear and terror in the hearts of his subjects. That if I disappear from the view, if I disappear from the scene, a mess is going to happen. ISIS will take place. ISIS will come to take your wives from your beds and sell them as slaves, and the country will vanish, and you will be worse than, for example, in Egypt they used to tell us, like Syria and Iraq, until we became much worse situation. Listen now to Surah Al-A'raf and focus on this ayah. The chiefs among Pharaoh's people said, this is most surely a knowledgeable sorcerer. They're talking about Prophet Musa, who wants, and they say, this is surely a knowledgeable sorcerer who wants to evict you from your land. So what is it that you command? Who wants to evict you from your land? It means you will lose your country. So they were scaring the masses, scaring the public, that if they give a chance to Moses and believe in him, they will lose their country. They will lose their homeland. And they will become refugees. So what is that you command? So that it's like they are asking people about their decision, even though the decision has already been made. But they are influencing the people in a way that makes them think that whatever decision will be made is actually their own decision. So doing this is just a show, to show that the decision to crash Moses is the public opinion decision, not the authority's decision or such. The dangerous thing here is, who was talking here? Who was saying, this is most surely a knowledgeable sorcerer who wants to evict you from your land? So what is it that you command? He was not Pharaoh. No, that was the media of Pharaoh. Because Allah said, the chiefs among Pharaoh's people said, this is most surely a knowledgeable sorcerer who wants to evict you from your land. So what is that you command? Which means this is the group of the media people whom individuals watch every night on TV channels. They watch in talk shows. They are the ones who mislead the people that the country is in danger if the opposition is not crushed, which is here Moses, and they are the ones who mislead people. So it's like they are brainwashing people like that, and that the only way for this country to survive is by killing Moses and all the opponents of Pharaoh with him, and that this is the public opinion and this is the decision of the people. Not that Pharaoh decided that a long time ago, telling them, let me kill Moses in the beginning. The third means of the tyrants after media and intimidating by chaos is playing the religion card. Let's go back to Surah Ghafir. Pharaoh said, I am afraid that he will exchange your religion, or that he may cause corruption to appear in the land. Well, to not make things look so negative, is there any hope after the tyrant's departure that people go back to living together after this breakup? Because after removing a tyrant, people may think that after this rift, these people cannot get back and live together. After neighbors gloating and turning on music during the funeral of their own neighbors, and there was hate between the hearts, and stabbing their siblings and children and wives in the back, can people get back to live again peacefully with each other? The answer is yes. There is a way to get things back to normal, or even better than normal before. As we started the episode from Germany, let's end it there too. Today, after Germany has been totally destroyed in World War II, it has become the fourth strongest economy in the world, and the economy that controls Europe. And their people became united after they were divided in Hitler's days. Some were supporters of Hitler and accepted anything crazy said by Hitler, even killing the elderly people. Millions of Germans accepted actually putting the paralyzed and the elderly people in gas ovens and strangling them. So how were people able to live with each other after the tyrant had gone? First thing, a big national dialogue happened in which they determined who was right and who was wrong clearly. And things were not left undone or unspecified. The leaders of crimes and the pharaonic media people were executed. The rest of the people admitted their mistakes and regretted. Then listen to the most important point. Children at all stages of education are taught daily about the mistakes of their parents' generation and what they could have done, and even what the existing generation should do to not fall into this mistake ever again, to not follow a crazy person like Hitler, and to renew a sense of purpose daily to make sure not to make that tragedy ever again. Every day in Germany's schools, children learn how not to repeat this tragedy again. People who fall into the same trap twice are an ignorant crowd. And as the Prophet ﷺ said, the believer should not be stung from the same hole twice. So the people who experience the same story twice within 45 years or 50 years, they are supposed to have enough and learn from their mistakes. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.